Hey there guys, how's it going? Jax Reaper here again, and today we're in Fallout 4 and we're continuing with our Let's Build series. Now we are here at the castle. Now I have added this on the side, and I did record myself adding this on the side, however I deleted straight away at the beginning of this video. Looking at it from this side, it's not too bad. From the other side, it just looks stupid, and I wanted to do something else with the area. But we'll see what I do with this later on. It's a bit more simple than this. I was trying to go too much with the shaky little area, so I haven't actually put that in either of the videos. Save a little bit of time. It'd have took us over by about, I don't know, about 10 minutes over the time in which I could have been that I needed for the extra hour. Can't think about what I'm trying to talk about there. So, I don't know, do we do this now, or do we do this later on? Again, like always with these videos, I try and get something in here. Now, spoiler alert, it doesn't happen. Nothing will sync. Everything just stays red. Even if I use the stairs, try and bring something over, I can't get this to sync and stay in there. My little one's on his way into the bath with the missus. So they're just getting ready to go in there. So I thought, while I have a little bit of time, why not come on here and get this video recorded. Time is of the essence when you've got the family and that. So I think I've come to terms with nothing's going to fit under there. And I'm thinking, well, if it's bolted up into the crates underneath, then that'll work out just fine for me. I'll be alright. We're starting to assign people anywhere. I haven't got anything in or anything. Maybe I'm just going to start putting some shops. So in this here, we'll be deleting some stuff off, like this structure here. Decided to go. There we go. Straight away. As soon as I said it, like I planned it. So we'll get rid of that. We'll keep the stairs because we're needing them in a sec. And we're going to start sinking things in using a bit more of the stair. Well, the pillar glitch for everyone who uses the group selection with the pillar, but I use the stairs. So we're going to start putting things in. We've got a little guard towery thing to build over on the where that stone is, and I want to start covering up these gaps where these buildings look a little bit floaty because of the uneven floor levels. Now I've come up here and I didn't plan it, and I didn't bother. I didn't bother getting myself a drink again. That's usually the type of thing I'm doing all the time, forgetting to bring myself a drink up. And I'm perfectly fine at the beginning. I'm perfectly fine in any other situation, just rambling on. But as soon as I start talking on the PlayStation, for some reason my throat just dries out. I don't know. So we'll move that back a little bit. We want to get it so it's not covering the path up at the front, you see. So I'm going to start layering things up in front of these walls, make them look not so the same. Like there's got stuff in different layers in front of them and different things like that. So we've got a little wire fence in front of there. I do wish I could record these while I was actually building them, because I'd be building and telling you what I was going to do next and different things like that. However, so we'll sink some of these cinder blocks in, but it just doesn't allow for it when we're recording on the night time while everyone's asleep. I can't be talking, be waking everyone up, getting myself into trouble. So I have to do the recordings after the fact whenever I get the spare time to do so. So I'm going to drop this in here, and I'll bring one over, and I'll do one on the opposite side as well. Sinking a little bit through, but you can't really see that. Maybe the back of the block is broken there where that fence post is coming through. A bit of a taller one. That'll sink quite nicely. Select, bring it over. I'll get that put in there. Just have a little fiddle around with it. We try bring it on a little bit of an angle. It's like they've built the two walls. The two walls aren't connected. They've just built two random walls, and they've started at either end and gone off on different angles. So they're not master builders after all. Look at the wooden shacks. So they've just they must have had two of the settlers start building at either end, and then they've realised, oh, hold on a minute, we're not lined up here. Oh well, we'll just build two little separate walls. So we're trying to get in there, and that actually sinks in there quite nicely. look again. For some reason, things have been snapping and sinking really easily while building this. They don't sink very well into the floor. The floor, for some reason, is more of a sticking point. They don't really like any of the rubble or anything like that. But for our purposes at the moment, it's actually working out quite nicely. So we get that in there. It's a little sandbag. That breaks up that wall just a little bit over there. Then we get a little bit of a... put this across there. Is that going to work, or is that going to go a bit floaty? Just trying to place everything in that I can, just to break it up, so while you're walking around it looks like they've got things piled up, or things extra reinforcement-y bits built on to hold up the shacks and different things like that. And we can use these police barriers across the front as well. Little metal barriers. It does break up the look of it when it's finished. And I know it's a little bit dark at the moment, but I don't actually think it's dark because it's dark, nighttime dark. I think it's because we're in the centre of the castle. So, oh no, looking at the sky there, I am wrong. It must be getting to mid to late evening right now, so we are getting a little bit dark. I thought it was because we were in the middle of the castle and we were having a bit of troubles with the lighting coming through past all these shacks that I'm building. So that's dropped in there quite nicely. And there we go, got a little pathway coming down here. Still got that sofa in the way. We will need to build a little shack for the power as well. Get that up out the way, get that off the middle of the walkways and settlement paths. There's nicely sunk itself in, just that little bit. Come around and across the front here. Again, like they're reinforcing the bottom of these little shacks and that. But really what it's doing is covering up them little tiny gaps and make it look like it's like sitting just above the ground rather than sitting on it. Obviously with the fast building at the beginning and that, we struggle to get the to sink them in, because I'm not bothering group selecting and dropping it into the ground to give it that look like it's actually built into the ground, or onto the ground should we say. So I'm going to have a little wait here. We're going to get rid of this night time, come around through to the day. Don't know why I took my time over that there. I might have been having a little think on how many hours I wanted to do, so that I was going to wake up about 8:30, 9 o'clock maybe. Oh, 7:30. It's a little bit dark. We're going to end up waiting again here, I bet. And then I go way past. There we go, but it's a nice day now, nice and sunny. Just what we like to see. We can see loads of stuff in here now. So let's start building some stuff. I think what I do next is we skip a little run round, I guess. Yep, so we've got that little area built there, and we're going to start building a little area over on the side of this. Now I want to have this area quite open, but I like putting these little fences on, chain link fences. We can put something in front or behind them and really build up areas with these. I quite like them. I get them from the USO mod though. I don't have the DLCs, so I don't know if you get the these with the DLCs. I use the USO mod though, so for extra parts. And then we're going to put a little broken piece on the end to make it look like it's not supposed to have an extra pole somewhere. There we go, something like that. We'll turn it a little bit so it's not blocking the path. That won't work too well. Keep going round just a little bit more. We're somewhere near there now. I'm just watching the for the little arm, the little hooks, to see if they poke through the blue section as I'm trying to lay it, put it down. It's not the closest it could be. It could have been a little bit closer, but for our purposes, we're not going to really be looking at it too much. Probably going to be most of it covered up anyway, because we're going to start putting some junk fences down in the front of this now. We're going to try and make a little seating area here, a little area where the settlers can come and they can chill out on an evening, or even on the daytime. Maybe they're having a little break and they can come down and chat with their friends. It's going to have, I think it has a little stove, well not a stove, but one of them cooking pits here, and then a couple of chairs, well stools with a barrel for them to be able to sit here and relax. All along, favourite thing, cinder blocks, get them. Now, a couple of these cinder blocks by themselves, you can actually make your own walls with them. They sit really nicely on each other, don't float on top of each other, which some items do. If you put, say, for instance, a little pile all over the place, kind of like you would, say, with a crate, wooden crates, you can make a little random little shapes, which makes it look a little bit more natural as well, especially if you're putting them next to them bigger walls, which are so perfect and straight. If you put little piles like this around, I quite like that. As if you look around my settlement, you will start to see that I've done that. Not everywhere, but I do it here and there just to try and break it up a little bit. I think it's quite a nice way of getting depth to an area, you know, building up these areas like this. So we're starting to come out quite far now. We're quite far off the side of the thing, but it's keeping you a bit of a distance away from that chain link fence, which has the hook's not quite placed right. So I'm trying to get that out, but bring it out, put it over here, we'll grab this, we're going to drop this in again. I think it was in a little bit too far there. Maybe I want to push it back a little bit as well. Yeah, right in there, perfect. Excellent. So now we can see all three layers. It's got that little bit of height, but it's also pushed quite far back as well, thanks to the stairs. So we're going to go and we're going to put a little tile wall in here. Start off with one, but I'm sure we change this, stack it on the top, you know. I'm sure we change this up now because we're trying to come across here. But that way it just doesn't quite fit right. So what I want to do is I take that away, put that in. No, it's not going to go there. I'll just stand and mess around with it for a little bit here, and then I'll realise, oh actually, I think I place it down here and I leave it, and then I build a little wall coming across here to create, like, say, the back to the seating area within the let's have a little look. So grab it from a different angle this time. The little man's having a little cry because he's just got himself out of the bath. So he doesn't like getting out of the bath, he likes it in there. I'm trying to grab this, you see, I'm trying to grab this, but it won't group select anything that's sat on the rubble. For some reason I have to be on the dirt. Whether that's, say, scrap the Commonwealth messing around with it a little bit, I'm not sure, but it just will not grab it if I'm on the gravel. Also doesn't like to sink into the gravel either. Well, I guess call it gravel, it's more like rubble, isn't it? So I'm trying to get the right angle on the steps to allow me to fit it into the area that I want it to fit in. Now I can't get it to go down that gap, which was my original idea. Maybe I could have it slid down there. So I start bringing it back and I grab that there. Lift it up just a little bit, hopefully. Is that going to go in there? There we go. So I'm sure now I want to bring that a little bit higher. No, I want to go straight and get that furniture in there, aren't I? Minuteman flag up on the top of that. Break up that wall a little bit. That's why I used to break up the top of the walls, flags and things like that, because you see Minuteman flags quite far in quite a few places within the settlements, and I think that just breaks up the flat surfaces a little bit. Put that in there, but that's going to float and I can see that, so I'll put that there and I'll get it with the actual the seat, so I'll bring it out to somewhere where I'm not going to grab the stuff around it when I group select. Put the chairs, position them how I would like them, as in facing around the actual barrel. A couple of different random stools. I know I'm going to have it in the corner, so I'm placing these like what look like they're quite far forward, but when they're sat into the corner, obviously it means I can put the barrel quite far at the back. And change that stool out. Didn't think it looked the best on the surface it was sat on. I went straight back to it though. I think that was actually the same one. I can't even remember whether that was the same one or not. So yeah, that'll fit in there quite nicely there. So it's a nice little area now, and yeah, I like having little seating areas around my settlements. If you look at my other builds, I do tend to have like little little seating areas dotted about, especially now that I'm junk decorating and stuff. I do enjoy that. Now I want to also sink this in a little bit as well. So I'll do exactly the same. Grab the stairs. Again, this would be easier if you had the pillar. The pillar won't. The pillar isn't such a wide space in which you need to sink, which is quite a good thing. I just don't have the pillar because I don't have the DLC that came with it. That it came with even. So there we've got a little cooking area. We've got a little seating area. We've got, you know, settlers are going to be happy with that. I'd be happy with that. Come out, chill out on a night time, have a smoke, have a drink, have a chill out. Why not? And there we go. That's the finished product right there. I think we do end up turning them tyres round, but I might be wrong about that. My memory's that bad, I cannot remember. We'll see how it all turns out in the tour, I guess. We've got one more video like this after this one. We've got the another decorating video. Not junk decorating, I didn't record any of that. I ran out of space on the PlayStation, so I wasn't able to record any more of that. So I just went... I finished off the build with the decorating, released another video, and when I deleted that, like, give me the space to record the actual tour. The tour I've done on the day and the night time, so it takes about half an hour to get round for the daytime, and then about, I don't know, about 15-20 minutes to get round for the nighttime tour. Kind of gone round it quite fast in the nighttime. Just to get a feel for all the lights and everything. Obviously you've already seen everything during the daytime tour, and everything's a lot more clearer on the daytime as well. Already got a sittler sitting at our seats, can't complain about that. So I'm trying to build up that little area inside. Again, I'm still using the steps to sink things in. I've got that feeling I'm just going to sink everything just that little bit. I soon forget about that. Yeah, I do still continue to sink things in, but I stop sinking everything in. Again, I'm having that problem where it won't group select if I'm on the rubble, even though it's blue. It will not group select it. And I'm actually quite curious on whether that's a common problem or whether it is just one of the mods. Say, for instance, scrap that settlement might be interfering. That could be a possibility, I guess. It kind of does get blamed for everything. For the sinking, and that is very commonly blamed. And it could very well be the case. I'm not no expert in any way. It's the first game I've used mods on. I've never made a mod, never done anything like that, so I'll trust other people's judgment on it. We get some barrels in there. I would like to pile some barrels up right tight inside there as well. It did go blue. Go on. Oh, and it's going blue. There we go. It's going blue, but it was going blue while it was stuck through the legs on the gun rack, on the gun workstation. There we go. Weapons workbench. I'll get there eventually. I just forget what everything's called. And I think they could get under there. I mean, you'd want to watch your head. I'm sure the settlers will be banging their heads and stuff regularly, but I won't be using it, so that's fine by me. Got some barrels and that stacked up in there. That's looking good. In here. Oh, we're not going there now. Yeah, okay. In here we're going to do like a little storage container. So I need to fill the space. I wanted to have something open. So this is more like a storage container. Anyone that I've seen all the time. Anyone who watched my I said it again. Anyone who watched my Lady Ha challenge video. That one, I'd said that there was a crate where someone was living in there, and he'd just come to the settlement, and before that the container had been just a storage container, so it had been kind of similar to this. I've had lots of boxes in there, lots of storage. they're keeping all the stuff for the settlement safe and dry inside there. However, when he came, obviously he didn't have a shack, he didn't have anywhere to live, so he'd actually cleared this out, and a few of the boxes were scattered around the settlement, and he turned it into a little temporary living area until he'd managed to build himself a shack up somewhere within the settlement. He hadn't picked a space. I mean, obviously he'd have had to actually go out the settlement or build up on top of someone else's house to be within the settlement, but I suppose that's how the settlements would expand. You'd have one person come build a shack or a little farm, and then the next person come and go like, well, I'll help defend the place, and they'll build a little shack and a little guard post, and then the next person would come and they'd be like, oh well, I want to help you on the farm, can I do a little bit of it? So the farm would grow and they'd get another shack, and by then they can provide food for a couple more people, and they start coming in. You've got scavengers and you've got other people, so when that does happen, these containers do get converted into little temporary homes for people. In this settlement, one person does have it as a bit more of a permanent home. It's the one that's directly behind us at the moment. I'm trying to get this onto the top of these boxes, try and make a little trying to make a little table out of it. But they're just too thick. They won't go in, they won't highlight blue, it just doesn't work. So, yeah, that's the one I'm on about for the little house in there. So we've got some storage and boxes like piled up in there, that's alright. But now I've got the idea of making my own little table in there, so I'm starting to think, how can I stack some other stuff except boxes to make it look a little bit different. So we're going to put a couple of crates under here. With them crates, then we're just going to pile some boxes and barrels and different things on top of them. Create a little bit of a different texture at the bottom underneath this this structure here. I guess we're going back to that in a bit. Decorations. Come on. I pause in the weirdest of places. I can't think back. If I was recording on the night, I go, oh, sorry, 1 sec, I'm just doing this. But at the time now, we've 3 weeks after actually making this, I have absolutely no idea why I stopped. So I just couldn't truthfully tell you. I could try and make something up, but what's the point? What's the point? It was only a couple of seconds stop on the video there. Get that. Oh, don't move that. Get them steps out of the way. Yep, a little concrete bit across there, so we can get some boxes now. We can stack them all up in there. So we go decorations, barrels and boxes, down to boxes, and then shot some boxes here. I like little filling areas like this where you can just pile a few boxes, a few crates, a few barrels and whatever, and you can just pile them up in little areas, and it makes the settlement look lived in, but in such a short period of time. Like, it doesn't take long to stack up some boxes. You don't have to think about it for hours and hours and think about, oh, where should this go. Just throw some stuff down. The people placing them wouldn't be thinking about where they were placed. They would just literally be putting them down, and I think that's the best way to make something look natural. They're not thinking, oh, I've got to pile this up because it looks good. They're thinking, I want to put this down so I can go have a drink. I'm sure that must be what they're thinking. Just want to go into the little bar area. Change it up a little bit, put these little baskets on there. I think I get a little bit carried away at one point with these baskets, to be honest. Back there is obviously going to have to be a little storage area as well, isn't it? Not really much else I could do with that area back here, so we'll get some barrels. I quite like the barrels. The barrels can stack quite nicely as well. I like to tend to put these taller ones at the back, only slightly changing the colours. I don't like to go for the dead garish ones or the nuclear waste one. I think you'd have to be a bit insane to be keeping. Oh, or case in point, like the what they're called, the Children of Atom. What in God's name would you want to be hanging around with nuclear waste for? So they'll keep that out of the way. I don't think that they have any use for it, do they? I mean, okay, yes, they need nuclear material, but I think we can deal with it outside the settlement. It doesn't need to be putting a risk on the actual settlers just so they can get a little bit of nuclear material. Surely not. Suffering with a bit of toothache on my left hand side here. Oh, my bottom wisdom tooth is been giving me hell all day. Woke up this morning, it feels like I've been punched in the side of the mouth. So it was perfect. Oh, I might well have been actually in my sleep. Who knows? So again, just piling up some boxes. I'm to put the ones up in the front as well. We'll get some of them crates in a second, I believe. Stack some crates up in the front. Tote them around on top, just breaking up the repetitiveness of it. Because they have this wood to make these perfect crates and these perfect boxes, and the knowledge to build these crates and these boxes so perfectly sealed. And then you look at the side of the shacks and you're like, well, why didn't you use that craftsmanship on our on your walls? Why are your walls falling apart and then the boxes are all good? So yeah, a couple of these crates just hanging around, these little plastic crates. We found them, give them a clean up. They're only plastic, nice and easy. And then these drinking crates can get dotted about as well. I don't tend to use them blue ones that often. I do like them. It's just actually I like going to them for the couple of applications in which I use them. I think it's too far away in the build menu. It's going to take me too long to get there. Which I shouldn't think like that, really. I should be quite happy to slow down a little bit. But I'm not. I like to go fast. I like to. I want to see what the finished product looks like. I want to see what it's going to look like at the end. I want to see what I can create. So if I'm going slow, that time's just going to take longer, and that means all day. Say for instance, I started a build today. All day tomorrow, I'll be thinking about what I'm going to do in that build, and then I'll get on the night time and I'll do some more of the build. And then usually at that point I would be done. Well, in my older playthroughs I would have been done because I didn't do the junk decorating. But now I've got another 2 nights of frigging decorating, because the decorating is what seems to take me the longest time. So then I guess smash through all the decorating as fast as I can, and then I finally get to see it. And now it's nice to be able to share it with all you guys as well, you know. So that's why I'm doing it. I like feel good about what I create, especially this newer stuff. Really like how it's all turning out, and I absolutely love how this turns out at the end. It's brilliant. Well, a bit big-headed myself to say that about myself, but I'm really happy with it, so I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered when I look like a tail. Oh, workshop stool there. Quite like the stool with the barrels, because obviously you want to sit a little bit higher. Sit on a chair next to one of them barrels. Break your friggin' shoulder every time you want to get your drink down. A little bench there. Another little bench across the front of here. I'm going to bring that one over. That one has the back, so it blocks a bit more of the bottom of the chain link fence up. Breaks up the texture a little bit more. In that space, which is a little bit smaller, can be used for something else. I don't know whether I put a bench in there or whether I put in I'm in two minds whether I do another one of them little benches, or whether I put a little concrete wall in the cinder block. Nice barrel, can put that behind the bench. Fits into that area quite nicely. A little happy accident, can't complain at that. What we at? 30 minutes. Only another 26 minutes of me rambling on about bullshit all. So, yeah, we're going with the cinder blocks. It does hover a little bit though, I think. Yeah, because that little step of that little concrete, where they've got the little walkway going around the outside of the castle, actually floats a little bit there. A bit of a pain. That's jumping up onto the side of the crate, that's no good. So I'm going to have to grab this with the stairs, grab my steps. Now I've got to think about the angle, because I've got to get it in the pathways. So I put the steps at the angle that I think is going to allow the sandbags to sit straight. And that's because she's there, it's the problem. There we go. I've moved the stairs up as if that's helped it, but it hasn't. It was actually her, it was actually that Minuteman that was stood in the way. Well, it wasn't even the Minutemen, she didn't have the uniform on. Sorry guys, see, this is what I said at the beginning, my voice instantly just starts going a little bit because my throat's all drying out. This is going to be a little guard area here, and this is what I do when I'm doing my decorating. I'll run around and I'll start on one thing and then I'll think, oh, this will look good there, and then I'll do that. So I'll put that there and then put my guard post inside, will I? Or I'm just going to leave that as well, I'm not going to bother with that. I just start bouncing backwards and forwards, and see, now I'm over here. I could have even put in a guard post in there. I'm not using this, shot that in there, which I quite like, that the grass covers up the bottom of them. Now if that was just a flat surface without the grass, that might look like it needs sinking a little bit, but because of the grass, although it does when it's highlighted blue, the grass covers up them gaps, so I don't worry about them. I can't see them. I can't even see them when I know they might be there. So I'm going to presume that they're not there, and I'm going to move on from that straight away. Don't bother faffing on. It's burying stuff if you don't need to bury it. If you've got something that's covering it, something's covering it at the end of the day. Now I did want to use these on this build. I always see them and I always think I want to use them, and I never end up using them. And I was thinking, well, what can I actually use it for? Well, this is going to be Sturge's little house here. So around the side, keeping with the theme of what he's got in the sanctuary build, I want to try and get it to actually him to be working on a motorcycle and whatever here, because he's working on the cars and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to use these. I quite like that they're bright yellow, because it kind of breaks up the colour inside them, within the settlement. Obviously a lot of it's brown woods, greys for the concrete, and with the shipping containers and that, with the colour, I want to have a little bit more colour coming into the settlement as well. Not loads, I mean, I don't want it to look like it's fake, but I want it to look like it's got something that draws your eye a little bit. And the little highlights of the metal railings and stuff will help with that, I think. Especially with all this concrete hanging around, all this grey. Little man's in the bedroom now, so you might hear him yippee yapping on if he sees something that he likes. He's sat in the mirror at the moment, just looking at himself, holding things up to the mirror as if he's showing the other little boy in the room, not realising the other little boy in the room is also him. 7 p.m. here at Radio Freedom. So instead of using the concrete pieces, I'm starting to switch to the tyres now, because I'm feeling like I've used the cinder blocks, way too much. I put them all over the place, and although they're at different parts in the settlement, I just start thinking, oh no, I'll change tabs now. Consciously just think, I'll change tabs now. Shut somewhere else down for 5 minutes. So this is going to be the little check-in area. I do try to put that in there, but it's just too thick for this little hall, this little corridor here. So we go back to the concrete. Tried and tested concrete cinder blocks, can't complain of that. And the yeah, get some more cinder blocks in there. Little one round the corner here. Or do I? It might have been better to do this one with the just odd little blocks, to be honest. Keep persisting with it though. Better if you turn that around maybe. Nah, no, I'll go back to where we were. Doesn't matter if it's on a little bit of an angle, we can say the same as what we said about the other one. That they started at opposite ends. They didn't learn. There we go with our little single ones. We can place that on top, which will link the two together, and then put one in front just to stop it looking like it's just in a bit of a random place. Dotting random blocks about, I think, always looks good. You can pile them up in random angles and stuff. Just here and there I'll dot them in. So we're losing a bit of light here, so hopefully I'll go and I will sit down soon and have a little wait for the next one. For the next day. Go on. Nah, I'm still too busy about this. No, sweetie, you'll need something sharper than that. You need, yeah, or if I can get you a Stanley blade out of the van that's yeah, you could use scissors, but you'll need some really sharp scissors, and I don't think we have any really sharp scissors. My girlfriend's making a quilt from all our little boy's baby clothes, all his little baby clothes that I've got too small for him, and she's trying to cut it, but I've only got my blunt Stanley knife here, which is going to end up tearing and ruining it. So that was where I was talking off the side there. Sorry, guys. So we're going to get some fire barrels dotted about in here. I've got some stairs in my own way here. Need to make a little seating area here as well. You know, I just want to mix the areas up a little bit with the seating areas and that. Now we have got a little bit of a gap down there, so I am going to have to try and put something in here which is going to cover that gap. Be quite hard to get the stairs in here though, because of the because of that red post that I've already got in there. But luckily the bottom end of them sinks, so although it sinks at the top, the bottom doesn't look like it's floating at the very bottom, which was a really lucky. I think I remembered Sar saying that he liked the way they sank, and when I was actually building it I was thinking to myself, what am I going to cover this up with without being able to stick the thing in? So I tried it with them, but it would have worked, but it was sticking out like out in front of it too far, and it looked like it was kind of just randomly placed. So if I can get that in there, that might have the length that I can grab it with. You see, that's still not. Does that look like it? That looks like it sank a little bit there, doesn't it? It looks like the bottom's on a little bit of an angle. This top end though, yeah, still needs something. So we get smaller in sizes, and as we get smaller in sizes, they drop further into this little gap. It'd be nice to have used the steps, but really, in all honesty, I'm a bit too lazy to bother taking out that red steel work there. So I'm just thinking, oh well, what can I do to cover it up? What can I do to make it good? So we're gonna go tyres on this side. Might be a bit thick tyres, might they not? Or they're gonna sit nice and close. If they sit nice and close, they'll be alright, but tyres are quite a thick little decoration, really. But they are sitting close. Ah, so that's ideal, that there. Am I happy with that, or am I going to change it? Am I at least going to sit down and get us away from night time? Who knows? Who knows? Get the minimum flag. Place it exactly where we want it. You need to sit down. I need to sit down and get it from pitch black. I'm watching it on the editing screen, so I'm watching it on a dead small little screen. I'm watching it on a dead small little screen, and because it's dead dark and I'm so far away and I don't have my glasses on, I can't really see what I'm doing. I just see shadowy structures going across a cloudy sky. So we'll get a little stool in there, a little backed stool. I can drop out and I could sit on that stool though, couldn't I? Drop out and I could sit on the stool and I could wait till morning comes. Yeah, our build menu. There we go. Sit on the stool and wait. Let's have some daylight back. That'll be better. Oh. He's just next to me having a bottle now, big man. Done waiting, another nice day, lucky us. At least there's no rad storm or cloud in the sky, so we get a nice light day. And it looks like it's starting to come together a little bit here as well. We need to do something about this back end. We need to block that in a little bit, but to do that we need to move the power about. We need to find somewhere where we can actually put a little power hut. I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh, where in God's name would I put that? Now that I've built everything up and I haven't really left space for one.
Hello, sir.
And we've got up here, nice little farming area up here, this little farming storage hut here, a little sitting terrace here, nice little look over the settlement. Nice little view of the guard posts that we originally built down there in the centre. Them steps obviously can be ignored because they will get moved. This is down inside the general store. Got all these little pathways everywhere. Got bridges going over the top. Got shops off to each side. So really we need to clear this little area out here. And I think to myself, well, we can put a little power station up on the top of there, surely. A little generator up on there with a medium generator. Go for the autosave. Taking its time because we've got so much here. Jump ourselves into the building menu. Yeah, we want a nice one. We want a medium one at least. So we're going to make this into a little power area down here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thomas just went for a big roll. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Tried to roll off the side of the bed. Give us all a fright. So we'll put a big medium generator on up there. I think we're going to have to build ourselves something to get up there so we can see what we're doing though. Yeah. We're gonna go big. Go big or go... Yeah. Are we? We're gonna go big, can you remember? I thought you were asleep when I was doing this. Yeah, oh no. He's just looking at me as if I'm nuts. Yeah. So I'm going to attach the power up onto there and then use that to go straight down, use the glitch from this wire by highlighting the wire just above the actual conduit. You can send a wire through walls or whatever you want to do. Then we can delete that one because the power's going over from that other one over there. Now I didn't want to just take away the power from him because he stops working, and in one of my older playthroughs he just stopped doing the radio. The radio still played throughout the Commonwealth on my Pip-Boy, but it never did in this settlement anymore. But on the other side, if you don't want the radio playing all the time, that's actually quite a good little idea for you. If you power it up and then unpower it, he unassigns himself from it. Can't assign him to anything else. He always says he's assigned to the radio, but he doesn't actually go and do the radio. He just wanders about and does out. What are you jibber jabbing about? Huh? What are you trying to tell everyone? You tell me and I'll tell them. About how tasty that ruler is. Don't give me that cheeky smile. So we're going to put a little wall on here, but I do Oh. So it won't snap to this side, it won't snap to that little concrete floor like it did on the other side back in the very first episode, when I was surprised that it actually did snap, and I never thought it had snapped before. And I'm going to try and put a little railing on here. But because I'm not placing it with the snap, I'm struggling then to get this piece here, get it in there, and there's something wrong with it. There was a reason why I didn't like it. Now, thinking back, I thought it was because it wasn't lined up properly, but it is. So I'm obviously wrong. I'm obviously talking nonsense. Or was it because I couldn't get this in? It does end up being a bedroom, I think. I think it's his little bedroom. Run past here, remember I haven't put the guard post in here, then decided to start doing that. Forgot about what I'm doing over the back of there. So I take that railing out and I block that up as a solid bit, and I change the open fronted area there into a walled piece, I think. And then I'll put a bed in there. I might be wrong, I might put the bed behind the guard post, but no. Yeah, I'm right. Right, so I need to get rid of that. Put my rectangular piece on the front. The bigger piece, sorry, the rectangular piece. The hell am I on about? Just talking nonsense. There we go. That'll snap because of the roof at the top. And then I can put a solid little shack wall. There we go, that's straight on the end. And then I'll put his little bedroom at the back end. The guy on the radio can have his bedroom at the back end of there, so he can stay close to that radio should any news need to go out and we need to get hold of him, we need to send any information anywhere, or anyone's, say for instance a provisioner comes in that has some information that needs to be said on the radio. He's right there and ready to go. We'll do another little, we've got another little bit of miscellaneous area here, so we'll do another little storage box stack. A lot of the areas that I do get stacked up like this, and I don't worry too much about the barrels floating, because then only the front ones do I need to worry about, because the bottoms of the back ones are all covered up anyway, so I don't worry about them too much. Then we get some crates, shut them in here as well. Again, back ones not too worried if they're floating, they'll be all covered up by the front ones. Just give more of a feeling of depth if you've got ones in the background is all. Thomas, mate, don't turn this off. He's pressing the TV remote, taking the trying to turn the extension round so it's on a different channel. Must be trying to put on his cartoons or something maybe. You a little bit bored of this, are you, mate? Hey? Oh, as my girlfriend says, she doesn't blame him. That was not very nice. Oh god. Well, only 8 minutes left, guys, so it's alright. Not too long now. About the same length as one of my little run rounds, isn't it? Yeah. Is that right? Is that right? This place is starting to come together now. Yeah, I've taken the batteries out of that. You can play with that all you want now. You can. or you could just put it in your mouth. A remote. He's always got something in his mouth. Rulers, remote, bottle, dummy. There's always something in there. A dada, yeah, that's me. We're going to put these little cinder blocks along the front of here. I haven't done this on any of the settlements, but I actually quite like how it turns out because of that flat roof. And you're looking up at it. I don't know if there's a gap up there, but I don't think there would be. They sit quite well, the cinder blocks on the floor. So I can't imagine why they wouldn't sit on the roof quite well. And it looks like they're kind of holding that. It looks more structurally sound for some reason. The power station, the power generator being up there. Starting to get that dry mouth again. I really need to start remembering to bring a drink up here while I'm doing this, to be honest with you. I'll say it every episode, but every single time I forget. Every single time I forget, Thomas. So this is going to be our little entrance area into the castle. So there's going to be a few desks in here, bit of boxes, a few boxes of paperwork and things about, a couple of desks, and a little seating area at the back, I think. So, we skip forward just a little bit. I think I just stood there. I don't know whether I must have nipped out of the room for 5 minutes or something. So yeah, see, I've only still got the 2 desks in here. Yeah, I haven't missed anything. So we start getting little cabinets in here, making the area look a bit more like an office. I'm actually, my throat is like so dry, it's sore. I don't get why. I've been talking to you all day without getting a dry mouth. Why the hell? No, it's fine. I'm just at the point where I can't even talk anymore. I don't get why it does it. I don't get why.
You're talking so much in the space of, like, you're not stopping. You know what I mean?
I suppose, yeah, maybe. So we get another little container in there, but it doesn't really fit in too well.
Radio Freedom, broadcasting all day, all across the Commonwealth. Nothing to report. Keep it tuned here.
Along with this tooth as well. Fucking hell.
You're on in the morning,
I know I am, yeah.
especially on there. I think, what on earth is this guy?
Just like the morn. British. That's what they're saying, it. So that fits in there a little bit better. Jesus Christ. This guy rolling around like a crazy person. Found his ruler again. At least he's let go of the remote now, I suppose. So we'll have a little seating area here at the back. Somewhere they can either plan on or they can eat on. Obviously they'll need somewhere to have a little bit of food at the dinner time and things like that. So I think what I'll do, guys, is if you want to see the next video... Thomas, just thank God I was talking at the time. I thought it was me burping down the mic. You, piglet. So what I'll do, guys, is that we've got another video like this where there's a little bit of decorating in it, but that's the only thing I've got recorded. So and I think it's about 40 odd minutes long. If you want me to talk across the top of that, you want to say that, leave a comment in the comments below saying so, and I'll happily put it up. I'll have a little record over it in the next couple of days, and I'll remember to bring a drink up as well. Or if you want to go from this straight to the tour, because it's just really is just a little bit more of this, vote for that in the comments below, and I've already got the tour recorded. I can talk over that, and we can have a little tour of the actual place and have a little look around. It's completely up to you guys. You let me know. It's just more of this. I think the decorator might be a little bit tedious. There's nothing really spectacular about it. It's just me dotting boxes around, trying to make areas look a little bit more lived in. None of the junk decorating's there. I'm trying to get in the base things down, like the containers and the shelves and the beds. I have a little run round as well and place a load of beds down. Might make that, I doubt it, not in another, just less than 2 minutes. We're not going to get all the beds down, are we? So yeah, if you're interested in either one of them, either the tour or the next Let's Build video, please let me know, and I'll whatever gets voted for the most is what I'll do. So because I'm kind of running out of things to say. I need to start. I'm gonna have to just start talking about little random stories about myself rather than actually talking about the build. I think we do build a little hut up on the top of this, little communications tower up on the top of there. Oh, okay, we're putting in the guard post to protect this little to protect this entrance. When you're checking in, like I said back a couple of episodes ago, they were going to have a little guard stand on the back here. Make sure that you're not holding anything behind the back or trying to sneak anything in while you're doing your check-in, getting your paperwork checked over on the other side at that little office area. So guys, that'll be the end of this episode. We're running up in the last few seconds of it now. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, help me grow the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and so would my little boy here making all this noise as well. Otherwise, thank you for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you, bye bye.